School will be starting here in Madison County on the 22nd. We spoke to Director of Transportation for Madison County Schools, Shane Lakes, who told us about the new changes with the new Boonesboro Elementary that will be affecting pickup times. We also spoke about that infamous US 25 construction project in Berea, as well as seatbelt safety.
First Trust Bank has a brand new state-of-the-art facility here in Richmond. Stop in and ask about the products and services they offer. First Trust Bank is known for hometown people and hometown service. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, and MLS number 688788.
Well, we did add a new elementary school, Boonesboro Elementary, and it affected several schools because of the numbers in schools and everything. We tried to balance things out. So what it actually affected, it affected Boonesboro Elementary, Whitehall Elementary, Kit Carson Elementary, Kirksville Elementary, Daniel Boone Elementary, Glen Marshall Elementary, and it affected Madison Middle School and Caudle Middle School. We had 36 drivers that it affected their routes. So 36 drivers, morning and afternoon, that's 72 routes this affected. So a lot of changes coming, and next Wednesday when we start school, the 22nd, it's going to affect the times that students get on the bus. What I would like to request is all parents have their students at their bus stop or where they get picked up early, way early if they could, 15, 20 minutes early watching, because where we have had to combine routes of different schools, students that may have gotten picked up late last year, maybe midway through the route, they may be the first ones on a route this year to a different school or to the same school, depending on how we've had to combine routes. It's a little confusing, but after the first week or so of school, everything becomes consistent. It's just we have so many route changes, it's going to be very difficult to pin down times at the first few days of school, because again, kids that were picked up last may be picked up first, kids were picked up first may be picked up last. There's some changes in Berea with construction along US 25. The things at the first of school that change, everything is a lot slower. Drivers are having to get accustomed to new kids on the bus, people that have moved in, new routes, so everything runs slower. It takes the schools longer to get kids on the bus. When you have, especially elementary, when you have elementary kids, you're trying to load them, they're new, you know, first graders going to certain schools, kindergartners going to certain schools, move-ins. They are very careful to make sure they get on the right bus. So it takes a little while to load them, takes longer to load them than it normally does after we get school started, so that puts everything behind. So students are very often late the first few days of school getting home. It just takes a while to work out the kinks. After about a week of school, times become very consistent because kids know where to go, drivers know where to go, they know where their stops are, and you know, we try to be as safe as we can. We have radios, drivers know that they may be out a lot longer the first few days, but we will get every kid home. We have ordered 9 new buses. They are not in yet. It takes about 6 months for those to come in, but we have ordered some buses. We've got 4 84 passenger buses coming in, 3 72 passenger buses, and 2 special needs buses coming in. They'll be in January. We also were able to purchase some new engines for buses that have blown engines, but the buses are still in good shape, and we thought that would be a cost-effective way to get more buses on the road, have more buses for us, is order engines and repair the ones we have. So we've got 3 or 4 buses that way that we're fixing that will be back on the roads soon. There's some legislation about seat belts on buses. I think Texas is kind of looking at doing it. The reason we don't put seat belts on buses, and if you've been on a bus lately, they're making the seats higher. That's for safety, and the backs of them are padded, and we have regulations. We have to keep those seats padded well and make sure that they're in good shape. We have a person here at the garage that just her main duty is to keep seats repaired. The reason for that is the seat belts, in a situation, if there's a fire or an accident or something like that, if you have several very small children on there, if you have to evacuate the bus very quickly, you may not be able to, it takes a long time to get those children unbuckled. So that is the reason there are not seat belts on buses. So we don't like to have seat belts on buses because we want to be able to get the kids off the bus. If something like that should happen, they can get off the bus quicker. We had a bus fire, as most people know, at the end of school year last year, and they had to evacuate the bus. Kids had to evacuate the bus very quickly, and they did that. The driver did a fantastic job. But if the kids had all been buckled in, it would have been a lot harder to do that because you'd have to unbuckle the smaller children, and that could be time consuming, and seconds matter in times like that.
Stay tuned as we follow up with more back to school stories, including talking to police and principals about that construction project in US 25, as well as touring the new Boonesboro Elementary. For WBON TV, I'm Marissa Hempel.